This is the Boston Celtics newsfeed for Thursday, October 11th, 2018. Reporting from Boston, Massachusetts, I'm Corey Prescott for CLNS Media, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage of the NBA's winningest franchise. With the season now 5 days away, there is little to wonder about this season's Boston Celtics roster. The future, however, is always up in the air. Kyrie Irving, who is set to become an unrestricted free agent after this season, declared last week to Celtics season ticket holders at the TD Garden that he does indeed plan on signing here to be a member of the Celtics for the foreseeable future. The announcement was not only a surprise to Celtics fans, but was also a surprise to the team's president of basketball operations, Danny Ainge. Appearing on 98.5 The Sports Hub's Toucher and Rich this morning, Ainge didn't know that Irving was going to make that announcement right then and there. I think it's kind of neat that he did it where he did it, with all the fans there on that night, Ainge said. Although the timing of that announcement was a surprise to Ainge, Irving had reflected to Ainge, along with head coach Brad Stevens, that he loved Boston and wanted to stay here long term. Ainge had expected an announcement to come, just not when and where it took place. Said Ainge, quote, "The fact that he wanted to announce that and just get it out there was not surprising to us. We felt like we were going to move forward with Kyrie for years to come. We had talked about it a little bit, but I guess that was just when he was ready to tell everybody he wanted to stay." End quote. Irving can't sign on a dotted line until July 1st, 2019, so until the paperwork is all filled out, nothing is technically final. But by all indications, it's clear that Irving wants to be in Celtic green for quite some time. The man who filled in more than admirably for Kyrie and nearly helped take the Celtics to the NBA Finals last year is also apparently engaging in contract discussions. Ainge confirmed on Toucher and Rich that the Celtics and Terry Rozier have been discussing a contract extension. Ainge stated that if no progress was made by October 15th, discussions would be tabled for the time being. Speaking at the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation annual tip-off gala, Brad Stevens discussed the potential for having Rozier in Boston for a long time.
I think it's very clear how all of us, players, coaches, and front office, people in Boston, everybody you run into, how they feel about Terry. And, it'd be great if we could, have him here for a long, long time. But I don't get into that, with the contract negotiations and the discussions. But kind of like we talked about with Marcus last summer, he knows very directly how I feel about him. And I think that, he's a really good player, and I hope he's here for a long time.
Stevens also discussed forward Guerschon Yabusele, whose team option for next season expires at the end of this month.
I think he's done a good job, and I thought in Summer League he did a good job. We've asked him to play a lot of 4 in the games, some 5 in practice, and he's bounced back and forth. But, one of the things about Gersh is last year there were multiple games where we didn't have our guys available or whatever the case may be. And when we started Gersh, there wasn't a whole lot of dip with regard to our production as a team. And so his ability to kind of play those different roles, play at the 4, play at the 5, be a guy that you can throw in with any lineup, has proved to be very important. And, as we move forward, obviously we have a deep team, and that's a big challenge. But as we move forward, we really value him.
Today's newsfeed is brought to you by Simple Contacts, a convenient and inexpensive way to renew your contact lens prescription and reorder your brand. Visit simplecontacts.com and use the code CelticsBeat for $30 off your first order. That's simplecontacts.com. Enter code CelticsBeat. Follow CLNS on Twitter at CLNS Media as well as at CelticsCLNS, and be sure to head to clnsmedia.com. Subscribe to the Celtics newsfeed both on iTunes and Stitcher as well as the CLNS mobile podcast app. This has been Corey Prescott for Celtics Newsfeed.